Hey, what is up, faithful? We are live. It's that Niner Life podcast. I am your host, Ron E. Niners. This time I got my boys with me, my fellas. I got my dude Money Mav, co-host of the Combo with Mav and Cato. Got my dude Izzy. What is going on, brother TJ? How you doing? We are talking. We are taking questions. We are taking comments. We are talking John Lynch. What's up, dudes? How's your guys' day going?
So far, so good, man. I got off work earlier, recorded my podcast, and now I'm here chopping it up with you guys.
Nice. TJ, what
Yeah.
up, dude?
Oh, not too much, man. Just got done playing Mr. Mom a little bit ago. So
Oh, cool. Ooh,
kids
that
are all
audio.
showered now. It's my time.
Nice, nice, man. So, fellas, highly anticipated press conference yesterday by John with John Lynch. I know a lot of people were waiting on it. I don't know that I really expected anything from it. We already know how John Lynch does, but I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to start off with TJ. TJ, what were your expectations going into that press conference? What information did you think you were going to get out of it? And what did you really get? What did you really take away from it?
I thought he was just gonna go in, do the company line, which he did for the most part. The only thing that really there were a couple surprises in there. The fact that he didn't just shut down the whole Debo thing. He didn't just say he's going to be. We're excited to have him be a Niner. He's going to be here. He's going to be a Niner a long time. He didn't utter that. He did shut it down, saying he's too talented to let go elsewhere. But there, I think he sent up that little flag like, hey, if you want to make an offer, we'll listen. And then some of the Alex Mack news that was in there. I don't know if it's a slip where he made mention something of, well, Alex Mack will. I don't want to take away from Alex Mack. Say there was something in there. I kind of missed it, but then reading the reactions afterwards, there was a lot of talk where on the Twitterverse where it sounds like Alex Mack's not coming back. I hope that's not the case, but
Yep.
you know, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He said Mac. I see. I think he said Mac had some news for him, so
Yeah,
it's to
yeah,
be
yeah.
determined. Mav, I know you didn't really care too much. I'm not sure if I'm wrong or not, but what did you take away from? I mean, what were you really expecting from John Lynch going up to that podium yesterday?
I mean, he gave me exactly what I expected. 49 answers, being all around the bush, like
Yeah.
letting guys like us speculate of what is to come with the words that he's throwing out there. You know, I mean, that's my favorite word to use is a smoke screen. I love to use that, but um, to add on, in my perspective, with that whole Debo conversation, when the way he answered that, I mean, he kind of gave me a sense of security in a little bit, because I mean, okay, you've made the move to pick up the fifth year option on a player that you're supposed to be paying, so you can have enough room to pay another player. That's usually how it goes, or at least that's usually how I see it. Because if he picked up Bosa's fifth year option and still let Debo go, then why? Why were we saving money to keep Jimmy? That's another option. But I mean, the takeaway from it again, just 49 answers, dude. I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm fine. I don't have no problem with the Alex Mack thing. I still feel like we're gonna draft a center regardless, even though I think we have one on the team already. And to add, I really feel like we're going to I don't know if we already got his replacement on the team. If we do, I still feel like we draft somebody else at that position. Daniel Brunskill.
Let me ask you guys this, because there was a lot of back and forth before and after that conversation. I asked my previous guest this, and I'm curious to know what your guys' take is on this. There's a lot of back and forth going. There was a lot of back and forth going on Twitter amongst fans. A lot of fans expected him to divulge a lot of information, and a lot of fans obviously were like, "That's not his job to do that." That's your fault for setting high expectations of that press conference. My question to you guys is, and TJ, I'll start with you. Um, is it up to the organization to try and satisfy the fans in regards to the product they're putting out on the field, or is it not? Like, should the organization care? Because look, if you really break it down, there's a section of diehard fans who are going to watch the product regardless and not care whether you feed them crap or not. And then there's your fair weather fans who, if you don't win, they're not there. And those are the type of fans who typically want you to please them with what they're saying with regards like to certain moves, what you're doing. They want transparency is what I'm getting at. Let me ask you this. Do you think you as a fan, the organization should care to please fans and make them feel at ease with the product that they're putting on the field?
I think as a fan, you in a perfect world, you would get a little more transparency. But I don't really think it's John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan. I don't think it's any of their job to put a fan's concerns at ease. It's like Mav said, and what we discussed last week too. You kind of just expect the same run of the mill answers. And even with Debo, I've been saying, gosh, I'd really like to hear from him, but I mean, we're probably not going to hear from him. He doesn't owe us anything. It would be nice as a fan to have some transparency to really know if we're going to have our number one wide receiver next year. But I don't think the team necessarily owes the fans anything. And I think the diehards are educated and we know the name of the game. We're just going to get those typical company line answers at these pressers, and there's not going to be any real news.
Matt, what do you think, brother? Do you think? I mean, I'm almost positive I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to ask. Does the organization care whether fans are happy with the product that's being put on the field?
Let me see if you do know what I was going to say.
I'm thinking you're going to say, hell nah.
I mean, you're exactly right. To an extent, because I mean, you gotta think about it. Without the fans, there's no product to put out. But without the product, there's no fans to enjoy the product in so many ways. So it works both ways. I mean, we both need each other. But like you said, I'm one of those diehard fans. I'm a fan. I've said this before plenty of times. I'm a fan of the organization first, then a fan of the team, then a fan of the players. The organization is the whole thing, is the 49er brand. And the team, of course, is just the team. And then I got my specific players in there. So, I mean, that's where my loyalty lies. It lies with the organization. So my only concern as a fan is, what are we doing for next year? You know what I mean? That's all. I just let me know what have we done to get ready for next season. I'm not looking for too much information because, I mean, before social media, you could only get your information through a newspaper, and there was so much they could put in that paper. And so you had to learn to read between the lines, and I continue to do that. It makes the game more fun for me.
Yep. I mean, I agree. Mikey, are you with us? I don't think he is. Because, and that's why I asked though, because when we're not winning, obviously the stadium's empty. And if you really look at Twitter, yeah, you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool, man. Hey, so let me loop you in. Obviously, we're talking about the press conference yesterday. We're talking about what you expected going into the press conference and what you actually walked away with. So let me start off with that. What did you take away, and what did you expect going into that John Lynch presser yesterday?
I expected it to be very PC, very public relations like. Nothing really slipping out. John Lynch started it exactly how I thought he was going to start it, kind of addressing Debo off the bat, saying, let's respect the situation. The few takeaways I took from it was, unless we get some astronomical offer, Debo staying. And I mean astronomical that I don't think any team in their right mind would even be willing to offer us. Jets, for example, I think it's going to take 2 first-round picks and a player minimum for it to even happen. So I actually came out of it kind of confident that Debo will be staying with us, but who knows? We still got another whole day and a half of this, so we'll see. I did kind of like the Bosa news of extending him. It's showing that we don't necessarily need to get his deal done right away, even though they did say they are in contact with his representation. So that was another kind of tidbit that made me think that the Debo thing is going to happen if Bosa's kind of on, not the back burner, but it's going to kind of go smoother and we have more time with it. So more money's freed up to get Debo done. And then the other big takeaway I took out of it was I think Alex Mack is not coming back. The way John Lynch talked about that situation, it seems like they know. They just want to let him make the statement of his retirement, but it looks like we need to find a center.
Yeah, I don't think that was good. Especially how he kind of made it a point to throw that out there, kind of like setting the expectations.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know if he even wanted to throw that out there or if it was intentional or he actually accidentally slipped up. But my next question to you is, so there was debate after that press conference on Twitter that I was scrolling through, and there was actually a lot of fans who had high hopes and thought that John Lynch was just going to divulge a trove of information in regards to one, Debo, and kind of expecting more transparency with what's going on this offseason. Do you think that the 49ers are at a point where it doesn't really matter what they say at this point? They're just going to have fans buy into the product regardless? Or do you think they still need to absolutely care and try to please some of these fair weather fans who aren't diehards? I guess my question to you is it up to the organization to try to please a fan's ear when they come out with these pressers? Or are they just going to come out and say what they got to say and then take off? You there? I think we lost him. We'll get back to him. I know he's traveling right now. So, but yeah, guys, I guess that's why I asked. There was a lot of fans who were let down, and sometimes I wonder, like, yeah, are we a brand or are we a product at this point? You know, because we've had some really rough days. And let me bring him back in. Mikey, you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, did you catch that last end of the question, the tail end of that question, or how much of
Yeah,
that did you
I caught kind of
the
how
gist of
the
what I was
debate was
doing?
going on between
Yeah,
yeah. I think that fans had too high of expectations. I even commented on Twitter before it happened, hey, all eyes are on the press conference. And people kind of went after me thinking that I had high expectations. It was just something we were kind of looking forward to. I think if something was done by Debo before then, it could have been an opportunity for them to announce something. But with everything being in limbo, you don't want the team pissing Debo off by saying the wrong thing at the press conference. I think the way they worded things with everything in such a limbo was the right way to do it and kind of keep things still on friendly grounds with Debo. Because Debo he's very emotional. If he would have heard the wrong thing, it could have set him off even more. I think this whole situation comes to him being so passionate, so emotional, and for a better term, lack of patience. I don't think he has the patience that other players have. I think he wants his money now because he sees everyone else getting their money. So I think fans being disappointed, it's just they set too high of expectations for it. It should have never been that. We knew John Lynch was going to come out here and be John Lynch and be very PC and not try and stick his foot in his mouth.
Yeah. So other than the Mac, which we're gonna get into a little bit later, the announcement of them exercising the 5th-year option on Nick Bosa. Were you guys expecting that announcement at all? Were you guys caught by were you guys expecting for Nick Bosa to get paid this year, or did you kind of have an idea that that's what they were gonna do? Matt, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I kind of had an idea that one of those two guys was gonna get exercised, but I just figured it was gonna probably be Debo more than anything because of all the noise that he was making, and knowing the Bosa family that these guys don't play about when it comes to their money. But when you sit back and look at the contract that Bosa is pretty much gonna clear at the end of this season at 51 mil, and he's making 17 mil this year alone. Coming from $8 million a year, dude, that's a big jump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And by next year, he's going to break the market. Mike, I know we said reset, but he's going to break that damn market by next year. So, I mean, I was a little surprised that Bosa got hit, but then when I look at his contract, I'm like, if I'm Bosa, I'm not surprised at all. I'm playing out this year. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I think he also knows how much more how much more cap space is going to be available next year, and that's going to make his deal just so much bigger. Like I know we talk about Niners don't we haven't broken 50 million guaranteed. Bosa's about to break the bank for the Niners. It's going to be insane the amount of money we give him guaranteed. Yeah, if we want to keep him, it's gonna. Yeah.
TJ,
So,
what did you think? What were you expecting? Were you expecting that announcement at all, or what was your ideal scenario?
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting that, and I actually watched listened to the press conference live yesterday because I was just curious, and he just kind of like slipped that in there. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch it. He's just like, "Oh yeah, we also exercised that 5th-year option for Nick," and but I figured Nick wasn't going to go anywhere, and I really thought it was Debo this year negotiating that long-term deal, and then Nick next year. But Mikey brought up a good point about the salary cap. You know, it's really going to explode next year with the new TV deals that they're going to put together. And, you know, it really makes you think the smarter play is what Bosa's doing. If Debo really wanted to break the bank, he'd play out this year. And then, you know, he didn't have the chance, like Mav said in earlier podcasts, he didn't have the chance to set the market. Other guys did that for him, where if he played out this year and then next year, there's a bigger slice of the pie for him. You know, he really could have been the first guy to get a contract done and set that market. So, you know, I never really considered that, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think there's nobody else on his level next year that is set to make any kind of money he would be set to make next year.
Oh no, he's better than Metcalf and Brown. You know, if we're talking about guys looking for new deals, he's heads and shoulders better than those guys.
But let's say Brown go ahead and get a deal this year. Metcalf get a deal this year. Who else is on Debo's level that would make any type of money?
I don't know what Cup's contract looks like, or
that's due for pay.
I mean that would probably be the next. That
Cup?
Would probably be the next one.
Is Cup due for pay? I thought he already got paid.
No,
or was it Woods that got paid?
I think he's due next year. They're going to start looking at it next year.
I mean, he's already started talking about it now, but he's taking a more humble approach to it.
Well, because that's the next wave, is it? You got Terry, you got AJ, you have Debo, and then probably Cup due next year, and then you got DK.
Yeah.
And that's a whole new wave of wide receivers. And so, Mav, you made a really good point the other day that I actually brought up earlier, and I wanted to ask you again. So last episode, you were talking about how if we would have paid Debo like at the beginning of the free agency period, one, this never happens, and two, we set the market. We set the market, right?
Yeah.
We don't allow somebody else to set the market like Christian Kirk did. So I'm going to ask the guys this. If we throw, let's say, 22 million at Debo Samuel right out of the gate, does he take it, TJ?
I would think so. I would think so. I mean,
that-
going from
was that-
what, 7 million to 22?
Was it 22 or 19?
What did you say? Yeah, you said 19, I think, man. What was that
think it
number?
was-
Yeah, you asked it because
It,
I
it
don't
was
remember.
it was 19.
I think
Yeah, the
I
offer
said
was
19,
19,
and
but
then
I say I would throw
and then
22.
and then Mav bumped up to 22.
Yeah.
So it left me thinking that day because I was like, you know what? He has a good point. And that's what leads me into this next question. And I want to know what you guys think on this one. Typically, they don't start doing business until maybe August or July. Am I wrong or am I right?
No,
They don't. That's typically right before camp, right?
Yeah.
So does that hurt or help them waiting so long to open up for business when it comes to extending their own players? Do you think that's a win for them or do you think it's a negative?
I think the smartest team that gets the win are the ones that go in straight out the gate and get a deal done before anybody
Mhm.
else
Yeah.
touches the market.
When you looked at this year's situation, and I know that it was brought up early in the offseason, hey, Debo's got to get done first because every deal he gets made, his bag's going to go up higher. So when you got a situation where you've got a lot of key players about to set markets, it's best to be first out of the gate. I mean, we wouldn't have been in a situation if we would have done it early on.
Right.
But if you have a slow off season where there's not a lot of players out there to set the market, then it can pay to wait. But in this instance, it was just too hot, and we should have gotten it out of the gate.
So this season, I'm thinking like, okay, because John Lynch is gonna swear till I don't know. He's gonna tell you, and rightfully so. He has to tell you, Jimmy is not holding anything up. He loses leverage if he admits he is. But last year, Jimmy wasn't in the picture, and they signed Kittle in I believe August, and then they signed Warner in July. So this isn't like a Jimmy holdup situation. To me, it's like this is just how they do business. So first thing I think about is why do they do that? Like, why do they wait so long? Do they wait for the market to settle and then they can copycat one of the deals already out there? I don't know. I'm curious to know what you guys think.
That's the worst thing to do, in my opinion, to copycat anybody.
Yep.
Like you have to set a trend, like for real. And yeah, my players might be upset. What's good, Mariah?
Mariah?
My players can be upset or they want to, but at the same time, guess what? We went first. Y'all said yes. It's not my fault these teams want to be stupid and go out there and pay their players more. You see what I mean? It's not my fault. Like, okay, if just to get back to this wide receiver list real quick, I'm looking at this. Who's up next, right?
Yeah.
You got Cooper Kupp, of course, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, AJ Brown, Debo Samuel, and followed by that list is Marquise Brown, Deontay Johnson, and Hunter Renfrow. Dude, if Debo plays this contract out this year, he gets paid next year. There's nobody else on that list behind after him that's gonna even compare to what he's capable to bring into any organization. So, I mean, it's just sloppy right now, bro. Like, I feel like our business, the way we do business, is sloppy. We wait too long. We're not the ones setting the trends. We're somewhat following it more than anything.
Can we think of anything logical as to why they do that, TJ?
So what I think, and it's the only thing that makes sense to me, why they keep that time frame, is it's from a roster construction point of view. because come July and August, your team's pretty set for the most part. You've done free agency, you've done the draft, you've done that second wave of free agency where you pick up those guys to fill your hole. So you know what your team looks like, you know what you have, what you have left to play with, and then that's when they work on these extensions. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Is it's from a roster construction point of view.
Yeah, so that's what I think about, because like, look, it all works. It all makes sense if you have an open line of communication with your players. Fred Warner said yesterday, they were open with him throughout the process. It doesn't seem like that's the case with Deebo Samuel. So I'm curious to know what is really going on. Like, where is the gap?
Do you think it's lack of communication from San Francisco, or do you think it's Deebo and his agent not listening or not liking what they're hearing, and that's where the impasse comes from?
I think that's where you at right there, the second one right here.
Yeah. So do you think they actually threw out an offer and it was low, and then it just
I believe they threw out several offers. Come on, man. Listen to what Lynch said. You clearly heard what he said about Deebo. He's not letting Deebo go nowhere, so he's just trying to meet him somewhere, and they're not letting us into the whole picture.
Did Deebo not say though there were no offers made? I believe he did. He said there was no offers made.
Yeah,
because he didn't want to hear them. Supposedly,
he didn't want to hear any offers. He said, "Don't even offer me," or there wasn't even any offers made. So I'm just like, one, I truly believe Deebo's getting bad advice. I've tweeted this out. Like,
and there was no evidence of him asking for a trade neither.
So what the hell is Deebo doing?
It's not Deebo, bro.
It's his agent.
It's his camp. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's the agent, but
it's the circle.
Yeah.
I agree. Grant Cohn asked John Lynch about his offseason. He basically told him to his face, it's a subpar offseason. John Lynch wanted to light him up after that, you can see. But John Lynch believes he's having a good offseason. They've addressed what they needed to address.
Yeah, he did.
And he said, I'm pretty satisfied with what we're doing. What do you guys agree or disagree with that statement?
I don't understand that narrative of having a bad offseason. For me, they've exceeded my expectations because I never thought that they were going to go get one of the best corners on the market to fill that hole. Like, my expectation and my hope was that we're going to bring Hayward in from Las Vegas. That was because that just seemed like a Niner fit right there. We could bring in
Casey Hayward.
Yeah, Casey Hayward. And so when we brought in Ward, it pretty much blew away my expectations. I think it's solid, but I will concede that I do think the Jimmy Garoppolo thing was mishandled, but I don't know how much San Francisco really could have controlled that, because Jimmy delaying his surgery and getting it at that time just really kind of, screwed them over. So I don't know.
Another agent move.
Yeah, I don't know who's to blame for that. I would think that Jimmy's shoulder surgery is more to blame than San Francisco on that. But I would think that's the one blemish on this offseason.
So, Mav, do you think that's like competence by the agent, or do you think they're just being snakes? Do you think it's incompetence by the front office? Where do you land on all that?
Honestly, I don't know where to land on it. Like, I mean, the front office is always going to do what the front office does. What's changing is how these players are starting to do business. So, therefore, it's leaning more so on the agent part of the whole blame, point fingers. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I really don't know where to go with that, dude. Like, I really don't, because you see, who else is represented by what's his name? Donnie Yen? No,
Yeah, Donnie Avery, something like that. What I don't know what his name is. I don't have it at the top, but the
I
agent.
don't want to sound racist right now because I'll go say they probably all sound the same damn name. But but I'm just saying. But who else does he represent?
I know he's got DK. He just got Ward paid for the Browns. He represents AJ Brown. And I
No, that's
are you talking about Debo's agent or Jimmy's agent?
Jimmy's agent.
Don Yee?
Don Yee. Yeah.
Yeah, he represents Brady. He represents Jimmy. Let me pull it up while we think about it real quick.
See, that's what we gotta look at. Let's look at how these players are negotiating. Because I mean, Brady has always had that I'm retiring, I'm not retiring, or I'm doing this. Brady's always done his own thing. Let's be real. And it almost seems like it follows suits with Jimmy. Who else does this guy represent?
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we have to look at. Let's look at how these players start to act up when it comes to contract negotiation. Are they the ones doing it? Or is it the way of, no. Do
you think delaying that surgery and having it when he did was his power play to get cut and pick his own destination? Do you think that's why it happened like that? Or
if it was, that's a dumb move on his part. Because picking your own destination, you can do that all day long, but are you sure they're gonna give you the money that you asking for?
And when you think about it too, I think regardless if you have a no trade clause or you're a free agent as a quarterback, you control your destination because nobody's going to trade for you. If you say, well, I hate it, I don't want to play for Carolina, then Carolina's not going to trade for you.
People just say what they want to say. I've heard this a lot from a lot of different 49er fans. Jimmy's problem is not his skills, his availability. To me, I said, damn that. The man suck. He can be available all day long. Yeah, we win when he's on the field. I can't deny that. I can't figure out why. But you look at how he plays, he does not play at a winning level. I mean, I don't know if I'm being... Am I the only one?
There was something about his play this year that was more lacking than in previous years. Like when we went to the Super Bowl a couple years back, I like that Jimmy, and I thought that was pretty solid. Granted, he missed the throw that could have sealed the game, but this year, I don't know if it's an accumulation of the injuries or seeing ghosts, but there was something different about his game this year.
No,
I think
you want me to tell you what it was before you say anything, Mike? To me, it was this.
Curious.
If you look at Jimmy when he first joined us, he did not know the playbook. He did not know the system. So Jimmy went out there and freestyle 5 wins and looked great doing it. The more and more he learned the playbook, the more garbage he started to look. As if like he could not execute the plays the way they needed to be executed. Yeah, he knows the playbook, but he still can't execute the plays to perfection, or he can't execute it like Kyle wanted him to.
What do you think that is? You think that's overthinking, or you think that's just a lack of physical skills? Like
that's just Jimmy being Jimmy. Real talk.
So real quickly, Don Yee represents Julian Edelman, Sean Payton, Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, those guys retired, right?
Yeah, I think at one point he represented a Cam Newton and Marshawn Lynch.
So Brady and Jimmy are his last 2 clients.
Mm-hmm.
And Brady played most of his. You really can't compare anyone to Brady in the way he does things, because Brady always did things under market until recently. Now he's getting his bag.
That's before we started bringing agents into the fold. We weren't talking about agents before. We just looked at these players and we figured that okay, they're misbehaving or they're acting like divas or they're doing what they want to do. Now we're starting to implement the agents into the whole fold, into the whole mix of things, and we're starting to realize that most of these players acting the same way. They're either scrubbing their Instagrams and keeping a picture or two up or doing all type of craziness. And we're starting to point fingers at the agents.
In all honesty, we haven't been talking about agents in a while. This year has been the first year that I can think of in a while that we've kind of been throwing some daggers at agents. We've thrown daggers at Jimmy's agent for the whole shoulder debacle. Now we got all this Tory Dandy crap and what he's pulling.
What's the last agent you can really think of that anybody spoke about?
I can't think of any.
Rosenhaus.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That's it. Miami.
But how long ago was that? I mean,
that's
kind
like
of
early
TO,
2000.
Yeah.
Early
So
2000.
it's been what, 20 something years.
Oh yeah.
And now we got Tory Dandy coming on the scene trying to make a name for himself, and
Tory Dandy, there you go.
He's bringing that negativity back to the fold, and I don't like it. I do not like it.
So Tony Dandy represents you based off likeness. It seems like it's like viralness and whatever you want to call that. You know what I mean? And Don Yee's more like, yeah, because it's like this is the year of the agent. It seems like, this is just the new norm. Like, and I don't know. I mean, I don't like it. It's just crazy to me. But you guys were talking about Jimmy, and I missed that. What the hell were you guys saying about Jimmy and his ability versus skill set?
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Yeah. So Mav was basically saying that Jimmy was trash. Always has been. And I said that I thought he was good when he first got here and he led us to, and we went to the Super Bowl. But I could tell there was something off about him this past season. And Mav was saying it was due to him knowing more of the playbook. And I said, so is that overthinking now that he's got more knowledge of the playbook, or is it a lack of physical skills?
It's still lack of physical skill. He still sucked.
I think he gets in his own head. I think that first major injury that he got, he's been kind of scared since then. And now he keeps getting injury on top of injury, and it stacks up. And I think he overthinks it.
Hold on.
And I think
what first major injury?
The ACL.
The ACL tear.
What was that at?
Because that was the first full season, right? Yeah.
First full season.
Because if you look at those 5 games, I didn't really pay attention to the Patriots.
He got hurt. He got hurt there too.
He did, but those first 5 games that he won for us, that kind of we saw what Jimmy's going to be. He didn't look like this Jimmy. He looked like the Jimmy that we were all hoping he could be and lead this team to championships. And then he got hurt, and he came back, and that confidence, it's the confidence he's losing. With every injury, he's losing more and more confidence, I think.
And there were just throws this year that the second they came out of his hand, you're just like, oh, what were you looking at? I mean, there was so many throws that should have been picked that didn't get picked. I mean, it was hard to watch him this year.
I just think his head wasn't there. He knew he wasn't going to be with his team, so he just wasn't all there. I mean, this season was just it was so frustrating to this season because Jimmy was the arsonist and the firefighter at the same time. He would blow the game for us in the first half, and then all of a sudden we'd see those moments of greatness where he kind of came back and he would have amazing 2-minute drives down the field. And we're like, why can't we get that Jimmy all the time? It's just an inconsistency.
Dude, Jimmy is a one-read quarterback.
Yeah. But I still wouldn't say he's trash. I wouldn't say he's trash.
All right.
He's still middle tier starting quarterback in this league.
I used this term earlier in my podcast, and there was concerning Ben Simmons and Zach LaVine. I use the term as load bearing. They're not load bearers. Jimmy
Okay.
is not a load bearer. You can't just dump team on his back and expect him to go out there and be clutch. That Super Bowl, everybody's talking about, oh, Jimmy took us to the Super Bowl and everything. No, Jimmy did not take us to the Super Bowl. Emmanuel Sanders took us to the Super Bowl because the minute he got on the damn team, you just seen Jimmy's game elevated. Why? Because Emmanuel Sanders knew how to go and chase those fucked up passing balls that he was throwing. Let's just be real with it. He was there when he needed to be at the right time, right place. Versus all the other receivers versus Debo at the time, who was still learning the whole NFL, not and learning a playbook on top of it, learning how to play in a whole professional system. You hadn't even had what Ayuk at the time. Who did we have on that Super Bowl roster as far as wide receivers?
Well, no,
Besides
that was
Kittle.
Kittle was clutch that
Sanders.
season, but yeah, Sanders. But I'm gonna throw one game out to you in that season where
Go
Jimmy,
ahead.
The Saints.
where Jimmy shot it out. He had a shootout with the Saints.
Was Emmanuel Sanders on the team?
Yeah.
I
He
yeah,
hit him
Okay.
deep, remember?
When Emmanuel
But
Sanders
it-
got
but-
with the Niners, Jimmy looked it different because he had
He-
had a wide receiver that go and get those trash balls.
he did, but in that Saints game, Jimmy wasn't throwing trash. That Saints
wasn't.
game, in that Saints game, Jimmy was looking like an MVP quarterback.
And I
Let me
agree
ask
with
He
you
was
guys,
like,
though.
he was like, Drew Brees, I see you. Let's do this. And him and Drew Brees had a shootout, and that was a phenomenal game.
Let me ask you guys this. I think, Matt, you threw this name out here earlier. Ben Simmons. Can you guys name at the professional level, at any sport, any player that you can think of that you can physically see them get in their head? Who comes to mind? Ben Simmons is a good one. Like, you can see them get in their head, whether it's baseball, whether it's football, basketball.
Jimmy's excluded, right? Because I mean that's the first person we probably all
Yeah,
gonna
that's
think
the
about.
first person we're all gonna think
Okay.
about. Because
So he's excluded. So I'm wow.
What about Phillip Rivers?
Yeah.
yeah,
I think Carson Wentz is one.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Romo back
Yeah.
back in the day.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Elway used to be in his head a lot until he actually got a team around him that kept him calm. He used to panic a lot.
Yeah, and so that's where I'm at with Jimmy. Because, like, I don't know. I know, Mav, you played ball. I don't know if you guys all played ball. If you've played with somebody that you can see, they're like, they got the deer in the headlights look, and you can just look at them. And whether it's like they made a bad play, something, even before the game, you can just feel the energy in that person's body. It's like they're not ready to go to war today. You see that a lot in high school. You maybe see it in college, but at the pro level, you expect that's a 1% there, right? Like, you expect these pro athletes to just like be in the zone, mentally tough. With Jimmy Garoppolo, he's made it through every single level, and he's gotten to the highest level for one of the most important organizations in football, and you can see it. You can see it in his eyes. He's not ready for that moment. You can see it before the game. You can see it during the game. There's just some games where he's hot, and there's some games where you're just like, bro, this dude is scared out there. Go ahead, Mav.
No, just to say this real quick. To me, I feel like Jimmy G has been one of those guys who's been fortunate enough to be part of teams that knows how to utilize his skill set or knows how to hide his flaws, I should say. So
yeah. I mean, like, even if you watch baseball, you'll see pitchers like they give up a hit or a home run, and then it's just a domino effect right after that, and then they get pulled.
Yep.
That's kind of like how I see Jimmy Garoppolo. It's like you can see it, you can predict it, before the game, during the game, and then sometimes like the Saints games where you're like, why can't we this guy be in that mental mindset every single game? He can motivate the hell out of everybody else, but for himself, it's like, dude, get your fucking head out of your ass, bro. Like, let's go. And
That
that's
I
my
was
only
about
way. Go ahead, dude.
that's a good point with you saying he can motivate the others. Like even when he doesn't have that confidence, and you can see that he's lacking that confidence, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever is going on, his head's going on, that team goes to war for him.
Mm-hmm.
They go out there and they play their asses off for him. So he's got that one intangible where guys
Mm-hmm.
go to bat for him, they go to war for him, and they'll back him up, and they all truly believe he can get it done with them.
But it's like, like it's
It's a
crazy.
crazy
Yeah.
thing to see. It's just
Mm-hmm.
so frustrating. Like I always
Mm-hmm.
joke with my non-Niner friends that
I mean,
yeah, quarterbacks have their good games, quarterbacks have their bad games, but Jimmy G, he's the one quarterback that'll have a good and a bad game in the same game.
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah,
mind-boggling.
It is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out. Like
Now,
I said, he's
as
the
far
arsonist and the firefighter at the same time. He tries to put out his own fires.
Right.
I
as,
don't get it. It's so frustrating.
It is. It is.
as far as players coming to help him out, I mean, I can relate to them because I've had instances to where even if I'm having a bad game, if my quarterback is having a worse game or another player is having a worse game than I am, I take it upon myself to try to elevate that player and motivate them to get going. I try to carry the load at that time. And I know it's almost like the wrong thing to do because then I'm adding too much on my plate. But at the same time, it's like I understand why these players want to go out there and play for Jimmy
Mm-hmm.
because they want to win too. You know what I mean? They don't want to be part. Those guys don't want to be part of those Niner teams that didn't pan out throughout the years after Harbaugh. I get that. I wouldn't want to be part of that conversation neither. So I'm gonna go out there and play. I understand them. I respect them for that.
So I mean, he's because like, what do you gain out of benching Jimmy Garoppolo? It's just gonna get worse. I think it's just gonna get worse for him mentally. And if you bench him, it's just like it's over for him. So
The weird part about benching Jimmy G is the question you always gonna get from any other Niners fan. What other quarterback is best out there?
that's what they come with.
And it pains me because I get tired
Mm-hmm.
of that. I'm like, before Jimmy G came along, you all asked who was better than Mullins and Bethard. So what made me think someone else is not better than Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean that's what gets me with Jimmy though. It's like he's man. I mean, what he's been on the team for 5 years now. I mean, you get
Yeah.
that from backup quarterbacks, and then you pull him. You got it from Nick. He was benched. CJ Beathard, you sit him. Jimmy somehow has managed to keep his job. You know what I mean? And it baffles me. It's like, you know what I mean? What baffles me even more is that like there's fans out there who swear that's not a problem. They're gonna blame everybody else besides Jimmy. And I'm like, dude, how are you not watching the same game, bro? Like for reals, for reals. I mean, I
Never
like the
are.
dude, but I mean, come on, are you not seeing what I'm seeing? This guy's fucking terrified right
Oh,
now.
it's so obvious. My wife's a perfect example. She's not really a football fan. She'll come to games with me, and she's becoming more of a 49er fan. But when I was at the NFC Championship game, she was texting me, "Why does he do the things he does?" And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"I do not know." And this is coming from
Mhm.
someone who doesn't really watch the sport, doesn't
Yep.
get it. But even she saw, what's he doing? I was like, Jimmy's being Jimmy. I can't explain it. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be very interesting
See,
5 years
she
down the
doesn't.
road.
She doesn't watch the sport. She doesn't watch the sport. Doesn't understand the sport, but she understands athleticism.
Yeah, she does. I mean, she was a cheerleader through high school. She watched games then, and I mean, she gets the basics of it. She just never really followed it. but she understands the mechanics of it. But it's going to be very interesting 5 years down the road if Trey Lance is who we're hoping and we believe is what he's going to be. How's the fan base when they forget about Jimmy G going to look back at the Jimmy G era? Is he still going to have his fans that are just swearing by him when we have this phenomenal quarterback getting it done? It's going to be a fun time to look back on.
Yeah. My wife's the same way, dude. Like, she'll watch the games and she's like, I'm like, you see this, right? You're seeing it. She's like, well, yeah. How can you not know when someone's fucking up? Like, how can you not tell when someone's fucking up?
Yeah.
And I'm like, exactly.
Like, Jimmy's fine. I appreciate what he did for the organization. It's time to move on. And those fans that just hold on and they think he's still it, I'm like, let it go. Let's see what we got with Trey. Like, it's fine. It's time to move on. We've gone down the road. He did what he did for us. He took us to 2 NFC championships. We got to Super Bowl, but he just can't take it to that next level.
Yep, I agree. So let me ask you guys. Let's jump into this one real quick. So let's just say we don't trade Deebo Samuel. I know we've talked about this in our group chat, but I'm gonna start with TJ. If we don't trade Deebo Samuel, and then we're gonna do if we do trade Deebo Samuel, where do we go with that first pick? Predictions right before tomorrow, right before the draft on Thursday.
I'm hoping that we go center with that we go interior line with that. And my guy that I'm hoping is available when we get that first pick is Juergens from Nebraska. That's really my hope, and I think
that dude's a mauler, bro.
Oh yeah.
That dude's a mauler, bro.
And that was before that little tidbit of Alex Mack news that I was high on this Juergens train, and even more so since it's looking like Mack goes, because I think we'll be fine at safety, and I'm hopeful that maybe there's a chance that we could bring back Tart on a 1-year deal, because he still hasn't signed anywhere, so maybe we can re-up him for another year. But that's what I'm hoping we do with our first pick.
Center.
Yep.
Ryan, what up?
Long time to hear, fella.
What's up, Silent Bob? What are we doing with that first pick, brother? We're not trading Deebo. We're picking somebody. Who are we picking? What position do you want him to go? Where do you predict?
My long prediction was definitely a defensive
edge. I get you. Mav, where are we going?
Oh, I'm running with edge in the first position too. I need somebody to pair up with Bosa.
Cool. Mikey?
Prescott.
You cut out, Mikey. You cut out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Before the press conference, I was going safety. I liked Brian Cook. But after the press conference, looking like Alex Mack is probably going to retire, I think we need to go for that center. Shanahan's offense relies on a solid center.
Mm-hmm.
I think we still pick up a center like with a third, fourth pick later down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's someone that can start.
Yeah, the center from UNC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing with a wide receiver down the road somewhere.
Not Joshua Williams from North Dakota. Is he from North Dakota? Yeah, I believe he's from up there somewhere. UNC, University of North Dakota, somewhere.
Okay.
Matter of fact, the same guy played in draft. Yeah.
We're still taking a wide receiver?
You can later.
I think we do deep in the draft just to give us some depth, but nothing super early on.
Yeah, no.
What if we trade Deebo?
3 picks.
If we trade Deebo, let's say we trade him to the Jets like everybody's predicting, or even the Eagles, they're at 15.
You trade Deebo, you gotta go with a receiver within the first 3 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we definitely go for a receiver to try and find someone that can remotely.
It also depends too. If you get a receiver back, it depends on the receiver that you get back in the trade.
Elijah Moore.
Mhm. So our predictions: are we trading Debo draft night? Are we not trading Debo draft night? What do you guys think?
Debo staying.
I think Debo stays.
I think I think
Debo stays for me.
I think it comes down to the so-called king's ransom that we would need, and I just don't think a team is willing to give up that much. Give up that much and pay
You
him
know
at the
what?
same time. That's a
A
lot to
team
do.
a team that comes with a king's ransom, I think the 49ers entertain it, but still turn it down.
I agree. And unless the Jets come at us with both first round picks, a second round pick, a player, that's just would be ridiculously dumb on their end. Because let's face it, they need these picks too. Debo is not going to make them into a championship team overnight. That team still has many holes to fill, and I think putting it all in on Debo is just not the move that they're going to be willing to make when it comes down to it.
So if the Jets come out to you with the number 10th overall pick, I think they got the 35th and the 38th, right? We're
Yeah.
saying no. We're still saying no.
I think they would still have to add a player onto that.
I think that's a lot right there. 10, 35, and 38. I think it's crazy to think that you can get more for Debo. I don't know if you take the deal, because I still think best case scenario is you keep Debo. That's what the draft is about. I was telling Ronnie this before we got on. The draft is just lotto tickets. You know, you scratch them, you hope there's a Debo in there, and we got a Debo. So, and like Ron was saying, wide receivers are about 50-50 in that first round. Well, throughout the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think you're going to get better than if the Jets were to throw that 10. You're not going to find a better deal out there. I don't think, because would you
do you
rather
really
have
want
that
a first round?
would you rather have 10, 35, and 38 or whatever those second round picks are, or would you rather have Philadelphia's 2 first rounds? What's more valuable?
Do you even want to be in the first round? That's the question, first off. Because me personally, I don't care about the first round, because I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay the rookie that money. I want to have that Debo problem. Second round, third round player.
Well, I mean, if you're entertaining Debo Samuel, if you're entertaining the trade, then I think you absolutely want to be in the first round.
Yeah, but still though, if I get that first round, I get rid of it. I don't even stay in it, bro. I go and get me something else for that, because I'm pretty sure there's a team that I can give that first round to that would give me one of their best damn players, or somebody that I could plug and play.
If we can flip that for an elite player, that'd be solid. But I think what the 49ers are probably looking for is they want to recoup what we gave up to get Lance.
What if Wilson's on the board at 10?
Come out even on that last trade.
What if Notre Dame's Wilson's on the board at 10?
The thing is, like,
safety?
Yeah. At 10.
The thing is, for me personally, I just don't do the first round because of that money. And on top of that, you're talking about 10. That's still, I mean, Trey Lance right now is set to make 30 mil, bro. Trevor Lawrence is already making 40.
That's the thing. You got to kind of look at our cap situation and what can we afford in this draft. If we get a first round guy, we got to reduce some restructuring and get rid of Jimmy quick, because we won't be able to afford a first round pick. That signing bonus alone.
Let's say they do.
Yeah, but we're not going to pay him more than Debo.
38.
Yeah, because if you get a first round pick, then you alleviate yourself of the Debo contract, and you don't have to pay that guy. It's a first round pick, so you pay 4 years, and then you can exercise the 5th year.
Yeah, you're paying him.
When did Brian Burns come out?
Let me check it.
Is this his 3rd year or his 4th year coming up?
Was he a first rounder?
Hold up, I'm pulling him up.
Because I mean, if he's a first rounder and you the Jets, you give me the 10th, I'll go right to Carolina with that same first round and trying to flip it for him.
It's going to be 4 years.
I've already, you know what I'm saying? I've already exercised Bosa's contract, and now I traded Debo. And if I could get my hands on Burns, I'll pay him.
But I think that brings me to my point on draft picks. Like this time of year, we all get excited about it, but why would Carolina? They already got a winning ticket in Brian Burns. Why would they just? I mean, that's kind of Madden front office moves. Like, yeah, I'd like Brian Burns too, but
I'm just saying.
And then you're talking, you're paying two top flight pass rushers. Can we afford that?
I mean, I've already exercised Bosa's contract.
Yeah, but you still got to pay him.
I'm gonna be able to pay him next year.
But then you don't keep Burns around.
I mean, what do we do best? We flip him.
That's a crowded line though.
And
it is.
That's a hell of. That's like.
I think our defensive line. I think we're golden on our defensive line right now. Anything we add is pudding. Is cream on the top. To me, what I'm trying to
do is just exercise that first round pick. If we did that number 10th pick, you send it to a team like Carolina. Now they got a 6 and a 10. They can do a lot with that, but it don't necessarily have to be Brian Burns, but it has to be. If I'm gonna flip that number 1, I'm going to a team that's gonna give me a plug and play player right now.
And if we got that 10, I ideally would want to trade back if possible, and grab the Iowa center. That would be my play on that. The only guy on the draft board that I think could possibly be on there that would give me pause and make me think we stay put would be that Notre Dame safety if he happened to be on the board at 10. That would be let me think about it.
Yeah, because here's my thing about let's just say Brian Burns though. Like let's take Brian Burns. The problem with the Brian Burns trade is he's going into his 4th year, so he's going to be due to get paid edge money next year. Edge money next year. And that's a lot of money versus a first round draft pick that you can still wait 4 years, another 4 years to actually, and then you could even exercise that 5th year option. That's the only reason why I would probably choose the first round draft pick versus a plug-in player from another team.
Yeah.
So, but look, I mean, dude, if they're throwing 2 first round draft picks at me for Deebo Samuel, or if
the Jets are not throwing it though.
They're no. So if the Jets are giving you the 10th, if they say, to me, honestly, the 10th, bro, that's insane. They're not going to give us a 10th pick. I just
you talking about the 10th and the 2 for second rounds.
I don't think look. In my opinion, this is just the Jets are stupid retarded if they give us the 10th for Deebo Samuel. That's incredibly high. And then to throw in the 35th and the 38th. But if they do, we're absolute idiots for not entertaining it.
I agree on that front, but that's why I keep saying it. I just, as much as the Jets keep coming up, I don't think they're going to pull the trigger because they've got too much building still do on that team to blow all this on Deebo.
Way too many holes.
Does the Jets have the better chance of pulling that trigger though? Are they the better?
Yeah.
Are they the best chance?
I think if any team was to do it, it would be them. But I think they're going to take a real hard look at this and be like, what's going to be the best thing for our team in the long run? And it's not going to be to give us the King's ransom and then to also pay Deebo the bag.
Yeah, because if I'm the Jets owner, and I mean, like, come on, the Jets owner is whatever his name is. I got my opinions on him, but if I'm the Jets owner, and I'm already like having doubts on Saleh, I am not gonna let him mortgage those draft picks if I'm already on the fence about firing him anyway. It's not gonna happen. I'm just like,
again, I got my thoughts on these new head coaches, man. Before they can become head coaches in the NFL, I feel like they should be sent down to the college ranks first.
Yeah, Salah wasn't ready.
He
I
wasn't.
never saw it. No,
I-
I never saw Salah as a head coach at all.
No.
I see
I didn't-
D'Amico as a better choice.
Great defensive coordinator, but I knew this was going to happen, and it's just. Also, the Jets don't even have a quarterback that's capable of doing what they need him to do with Debo.
Hey, that's Zach Wilson slander right there, man.
Yeah.
I honestly think Zach Wilson is going to be a lot better next year than he was last year, only because he's training with Trey Lance, man. And I mean, I'm not saying you're going to beat Trey Lance, but if you out there training with somebody, you tend to pick up some of their tendencies.
I mean, don't get me wrong, but when we were in the market for the quarterback, I was actually hoping that it was going to be Zach Wilson. I was
Me
on that.
too.
I thought it was going to be
I-
the next Steve Young up and coming.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I was like, oh my God, we're going to get our next Young. I thought we knew something. I thought the Jets told us who we were going to get, so that's why I moved up to 3 so we can get Zach Wilson. I'm kind of glad it played out the way it played now because I was not impressed with Zach Wilson last year
So,
at all.
If we did get Zach Wilson, who do you believe the Jets would have picked up? Mac Jones?
No, it probably would have been Justin Fields. I was thinking it was going to be Fields
Me too.
because
Yeah.
that's when his hype was kind of going up, and people are like, "Oh, is he going to go second?" And I was thinking Jets are going to go Fields at 2, and we're going to go Zach Wilson at 3.
Yeah, because I started going Fields too.
To Wilson's credit, though, I mean, he did finish the season with 9 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions, so he showed improvement. That's what it's
Okay.
about. It's progress,
Okay.
not perfection. So
He's just
Okay.
a little scrappy guy. That's what.
he is. He is.
Yeah, he's
I
just
mean,
a little
can we-
guy out there.
Can we all agree that no matter what skill set you have, depending on the organization you play for, it just make you look different?
Mhm.
Situation is everything. I always say.
It
Yeah.
truly is. Now,
I mean,
can
what
you
would
imagine-
people be saying about Zach Wilson if he was in the same boat as Trey Lance right now? I think people would feel a lot better about him going into this year with Shanahan than they do with the Jets.
What would people be saying about Jimmy G if he was wearing a Lions uniform?
Oh, he'd be just what Jared Goff is right now, I think.
He'd be making a
just-
podcast with me right here.
Okay, that's a fun one. Who do you guys think is a better quarterback, Jimmy G or Jared Goff?
Honestly, I'm gonna go.
That's a tough
I'm
one.
gonna go with Jimmy on this one though. I got to. I just
I think so too. I was surprised how bad Jared Goff was last year when he
Yeah.
got to Detroit. I was surprised.
both teams pretty much gave up on golf early on. So I mean,
Yeah,
I have to go with Jimmy on that.
Yeah,
one.
McVay really hit a lot of Goff's flaws.
he did. He
Big
did.
time. Yeah, I think
tell
I'm
you,
gonna have
man.
to give the edge to Jimmy.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Tough one. Because I know for a fact after Jimmy got hurt, the ACL, Goff was doing good. He was doing real good. And then he was playing his heart out. But after the ACL happened, Goff was doing good. Then all of a sudden he went down. And Jimmy started playing a little better than him. So a tough one for me. But I'll take Jimmy over the edge. I'll take it. Yeah.
I mean, what give Golf the advantage is that he's younger. He shows that he learns better. So he's
And
not
plus-
continuously making the same mistakes.
And plus the playbook. Whoever can play better,
Yeah.
playbook better.
That too, and I think he's gonna be all right.
Yep.
I think this year, he's gonna be all right. The Lions are gonna make some noise, not too loud, but they're gonna roar a little bit, or they might just meow. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know about roar. It might be a slight.
Yeah,
Who would you rather have, Goff or Mayfield?
Golf.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm
Can I-
going with
can I
Golf.
have-
I like
can I-
his attitude better.
I can't
yeah,
stand
can
those
I-
stupid ass dances, bro.
I was about to ask, can I have a hybrid version? Can I have the ability of Mayfield but the attitude of Goff?
That's really what
Like,
kills it for Mayfield. Just that attitude.
Yeah, I
And I
think
said that
Goff
when
over
he was
Mayfield.
coming out in the draft too.
What about Dak Prescott or Matthew Stafford?
Dak Prescott.
I'm about to say the same thing, Mikey. I was.
I'm sorry. I'm still not sold on
I
Stafford.
know how you feel about Stafford, Mikey.
I don't know.
I
See,
think-
I'm a little biased on that one, man. I like Georgia over Texas A&M, so I'm gonna go with Stafford on this one.
See,
I
I'm
think
going to
he's
go
gonna-
with I'll go with Stafford too, because I'm not going to lie. You guys didn't know me last year, but I was all over Stafford coming to San Fran.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'll own up to it. I wanted Stafford, and I think if Stafford was quarterbacking San Francisco this year, it would have been the same result. He would have been holding the Lombardi Trophy with San Francisco.
I don't think so.
No,
I've always had a soft spot for Stafford, man. I've always liked Stafford, dude. I like them the same way I like freaking Carson Palmer, believe it or not. I've just always felt like those guys, I got a soft spot for them. You know, I put them on the list with Marino.
Okay. I think the Rams are going to regret giving him that 5-year extension.
Because he did get bailed out though. Y'all don't think he got bailed out a little?
Oh, he got
he
bailed out.
he did.
Oh, yeah.
He got
Cooper
bailed
Kupp
out.
and Aaron Darnold are the one that in the Super Bowl, and the refs.
Do you guys have a comparison between Stafford and Mayfield? Or not Mayfield, whoever that is. What's his name again? Browns quarterback.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. Yeah.
I would take Stafford. I would take Stafford over Mayfield. That's easy.
Say you will take that. Say you will take Stafford then.
That one I'll take.
I mean, Stafford got
doing
way
that,
more
Mike. I doing that
experience, man. He has way more experience. He's way more humble. He loved the game a lot better. Come on, dude. Why not take him over Baker Mayfield?
I hate that whiny, self-entitled attitude that Mayfield's got. It's going to make him a backup quarterback in this league because no team wants to have him.
Yeah, I think that's what's torpedoed his value this offseason, is attitude alone.
I don't
Because,
think
I
he
mean,
even
what,
goes
we're
on the
4
team.
years away from him being the number 1 overall pick, and there's no market for him.
If the Browns don't retain him, I don't think he goes nowhere. I think he's done.
He'll sign, but to compete, I don't think anyone's going to hand him the job. I don't even think Seattle would hand him the job. I think they'd make him compete with Locke.
I agree.
I don't see no competition, period, bro. If nobody wants to even touch Baker Mayfield right now, Baker Mayfield will be done in the NFL. Point blank.
I think talent gets him one more shot, but I could see that kind of like I mean, who else? Like a Manziel, Paxton Lynch, those guys that were first rounders. They all get one last shot, and then
where did
not
Manziel
in the
go
league
after
anymore.
Cleveland? Where did he go after Cleveland? What's up,
I
Jerry?
don't know.
Yo, what up, Jerry?
What up?
What's up, Jerry?
Yeah, tell me,
I don't know. Did Manziel go anywhere?
I'm waiting.
I
I'm
think you
waiting
might
for
be
you
right,
to tell
Mav.
me.
I think you might be right.
He went to the
I think
strip
right.
club.
But
Exactly.
Manziel had no right being a first round quarterback, in my opinion. So that was a screw up by the Browns back then.
Yeah, he went to Cancun.
I could have sworn he signed somewhere else, but then he kept screwing up and he just never hit the field.
Nah,
I'm hitting the
I don't
Google
think he
real
went
quick.
nowhere else,
Let's
bro.
see.
Yeah, ask Mr. Google. See what he had.
If he did, it was under the radar for me because, as far as I understood, he left the NFL and went to the
Nope.
CFL.
You're right, Mav.
He got kicked out of there, bro. Like he was trying to come back to appeal and all that crap.
He was still more talented than Tim Tebow, though.
Oh,
He was an actual freaking quarterback than Tebow.
Yeah,
Tebow was a tight
exactly.
end, running back, playing quarterback.
He's what people thought Tebow was.
how the
Talk
hell
your
did
trash, Ryan.
Tebow? But bro,
Talk your
how did?
trash.
Go ahead, Ryan. How
Come
did
on, Ryan.
Tebow get
Talk
away
your
with being a
trash.
quarterback, though, bro? How did Tebow get away with being a quarterback?
Let me flip this on Ryan real quick. Come on, Ryan.
Talk about trash by who?
Come on, talk your trash. Tebow was not a quarterback. I don't know how y'all end up winning all these championships with a tight end, running back, playing quarterback, bro. But y'all did it.
Hey,
Y'all did it. Hey, listen, Tebow has such a following. He has such a presence with him, dude, that no matter where he went, Tebow was Jimmy Garoppolo before Jimmy Garoppolo.
We know why though. So let's
Yeah,
just,
Yeah.
he had the faith audience. That's what he had.
But still, he was winning, bro. Like,
you're talking
I
about
can't-
Tebow from Florida Gators, correct?
yeah.
Yeah,
Only
he
Tebow
was
there
good
is.
back to Florida Gators. He was good. He was very good. But all of a
You
sudden,
really
when he went
so
to
you
the
really
NFL, that's when everything changed.
so you really believe Tebow was a quarterback, was a good quarterback.
He was a good quarterback in Florida. Yes, he was. He was a good quarterback. He wasn't a great one, but he was good. I have to give you that.
So you really believe that was a quarterback back there that won them championships?
Yeah, his size. Let's just say his size.
man, hell nah.
The man was Andre the Giant throwing the freaking ball, bro.
Hey, I'm talking about my Florida Gators. Stick to your whatever you like.
All right, so let me ask you guys this. All right, if you're starting a franchise, Kirk Cousins or Ryan Tannehill?
Ryan. No,
Tannehill.
actually, you know, I say Tannehill, but I've always liked Kirk Cousins ever since Michigan State. His attitude just got too big for the game for me, which turned me off. But I go Tannehill.
I'm gonna go Tannehill too because of the mobility.
Mm-hmm. Is Baker Mayfield the least liked NFL player right now? Who's more likable, Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield? Ooh.
Kyler.
I think Kyler's more likable.
Yeah,
Kyler.
It pains me to say that, but
Yeah, I think you could deal with Kyler more than like Baker. You look at him, you almost expect that attitude to come out.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
you
feel
see-
that way. I feel
Baker.
Is he referring to that question?
Yeah. Baker's more likable than Kyler Murray's. Jerry Cerna saying.
I think I might have to agree with him on that one. There's something about Baker is still like, even though he's got his attitude problem, he's still kind of he's a sociable guy and still has like a presence to him. Kyler just is that guy that like sits in the corner and kind of pouts.
Just because you and Jerry have seen those damn commercials, them Brown Stadium commercials don't mean nothing, man. That's just acting.
I'm sorry. That's actually, I wasn't even thinking about that. That's a good point too. Baker's got the progressive commercials. They're fun. He's got a fun little presence in them.
They are.
Kyler to me,
the book read and all that.
Kyler to me, he's I don't know. There's something about him that he doesn't belong in the NFL.
Doesn't he have the State Farm commercials or something like that? I know he did an Oculus commercial. That was a State Farm
he did that,
right?
but it wasn't.
I
even
think
fun.
Aaron Rodgers has a State Farm.
Aaron
Rodgers,
Mahomes. Yeah, I think Kyler is State Farm too.
He's got something, but
He does.
In those commercials with him, like he just doesn't have like that stage presence. I don't know. Baker 100%. Baker. Yeah, Baker 100% over Kyler.
I don't know. I feel like Kyler still got that baby face that just kind of like he still looks innocent, even though you know he's not.
And not to condone what Baker did, but there was something that happened that made him act that way. Kyler just wanted his money and just started acting like a baby. Like the team wasn't trying to get rid of him. He just acted the way he acted, and I don't know.
Something about these Oklahoma quarterbacks.
Oklahoma,
I'm telling you,
almost
man,
as bad as Alabama. I'm next door to Oklahoma, man. I hate these Okies.
Wow.
Oh, is that what they call
is Oklahoma, bro?
Nothing. You just drive through it, man.
Tornado.
You just drive through Oklahoma to get to where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And time doubles.
All right, let me ask you guys this. This has been clogging up my freaking feed all week since I tweeted it out. Which 49ers storyline has been the craziest?
Oh,
The Jimmy G saga, Harbaugh versus Balky, Vernon Davis versus Singletary, Eddie D with the
I
mob,
want winners.
Kaepernick takes a knee, T.O. calls Jeff Garcia gay.
He called him what?
He called him gay.
I don't remember that one.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jeff
yeah.
Garcia's married to a
Oh,
playmate too.
Actually,
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah, he what?
Yeah, he outkicked his coverage, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Jeff De La Hoya. Montana versus Young. Alden Smith acts up. Debo requests a trade, or one that we did not mention. Kaepernick fights Alden Smith at practice.
Did they fight? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they fought.
Who
Kaepernick
won?
apparently the rumor has it Kaepernick hooked up with Alden Smith's girl. Alden Smith confronted him. This was a closed media session, and they duked it out on the field, bro.
Who won?
oh
that
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, who won?
So I don't know. They didn't say, but there's a lot of people who
one?
confirmed.
They didn't fight then. Shit, what the hell?
You probably could have just put Reuben Foster as
Reuben
its own
Foster.
subject too.
That's such a hard question because they all just kind of dominated the media at the time that it was happening. I don't
Could
even
you
know. I don't even know what
imagine
to pick.
For me, the one that sticks the most is that Vernon Davis and Mike Singletary thing, because at that point, that's when Vernon was the kiddo of that team then, and to have a coach that just came in and pretty much, I guess he felt dismantled because Vernon was never the same after he left.
the dude
You know,
came in
I-
and pulled his pants down?
Yeah, that thing was crazy, bro. Like
was hella
I had
crazy,
never
bro.
seen, witnessed nothing like that.
Ever.
Okay,
he
I
pointed
think
to
I
his
know.
butt.
Alden Smith,
I think-
Smith, man. I said kick his ass off a long time ago. I said to trade his ass. I was tired of all that.
I think I know how to answer this question. I'm going to go with what affected the team in the long run the most. It's got to be Harbaugh versus Balky, because we were in such like a good point. We were making championships. We made a Super Bowl run, and then it made him walk, and we went into another
Yeah.
dark ages when Harbaugh walked.
That's a fair point.
Mhm.
I think you can
I
say
would
the
second
same thing that Mikey said in regards to Harbaugh to Eddie D,
Yeah.
because we went into a dark place when the Yorks first came in. I mean, we were in
Yeah,
a dark place
yeah.
for a long time.
When
Yeah,
they took over,
When did York take over?
early 2000, right? Like late 90s.
Somewhere
Yeah,
around there.
like
yeah.
02.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember that because we had T.O. and Young. That's when they actually the York started the whole Garcia era, didn't they?
Yeah. Let me see. I truly believe though that we're not going to win another Super Bowl until we do right by Jim Harbaugh, bro.
Nah, don't say that, bro. Don't say that. That's like
Don't
you
put that.
implementing a curse.
yeah.
I'm
You think-
sorry, bro.
You just,
hey,
nah,
come
you
on,
just,
man.
You think we need to bring Harbaugh back?
No, I
You
think like,
publicly put a curse on us now.
dude,
Yeah,
that's
you did.
how.
That-
how?
that-
No, I did not. I
That's
did
a
not.
curse, right?
How-
You did,
bro,
You did. You,
hold up,
You
let me
put that out.
explain
You put that out in the universe. I never even like contemplated that thought until you just put it out there into
Me
existence
neither.
now.
I never
Yo.
thought about it.
Have you guys not ever heard of the curse of Jim Harbaugh?
Okay,
No.
first off, how would they do right? How would they do right by Harbaugh? And what's
By-
his curse?
The curse is like you did him wrong. Like, think about it. Trent Baalke is still kicking our ass with the Christian Kirk deal. That's cursed, bro. Like
That's
come on.
because
That's
we
like the
let
curse of
him kick our ass, bro. Like we
that's
don't
the
have
curse
to
of the
worry
Billy
about
Goat.
Balky. But what I'm saying, we don't got to worry about Balky though, man. I mean, Balky's gonna be Balky. He's gonna do Balky shit. He's kicking our ass because we allowing him to. We're still thinking about, damn, bro. He just all I said was me personally. I'm like this with Balky. If we had him, big deals would have already been made. It would have been crazy deals, but it would have been made.
Dude, if we had him, we wouldn't have Debo. We'd have somebody who had a torn ACL and never
That too.
became anything.
I bet you we won't have Jimmy now. Jimmy would have been gone.
I mean, what bulky is AJ Jenkins bulky?
Yeah.
Come on now. And I agree with Ron. I'll always say it. Harbaugh was done dirty by San Fran.
But I mean, how would you do right by him? 20 hurt players, yeah.
Yeah, right. There you go. That was already it. I agree. We did bad by him, but I don't think we need to right the wrong before we'll ever be able to win another Super Bowl.
But I mean, how would you right it? Like what?
That's some superstition right there.
How would you even write it though? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. How would you do right by him?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. How do we write that?
I'll answer that, but just real quickly, it was 1998, I think, when the Yorks took over the organization. I think you need to invite them over for a game. I think you need to honor him in some sort of way, like to get this curse.
You sounded like you're trying to give him back a job.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Shit.
Okay. Hey, I got a question for you, Ron.
What's up?
Do you think Harbaugh would actually do that though with his personality?
Yeah, no.
With
he's
get
like he's
no.
a Burn Bridges kind of guy.
Do you think he would even walk on that field and look at Kyle and be like, "What's up? I respect you"?
No, so the beef isn't with Kyle. The beef is with Jed York. That's really where the curse
it doesn't
is.
matter. It doesn't matter who the beef with is. You talking about John Harbaugh, who think he'll be the hottest shit on that fucking field or in that building. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch.
He was, bro. He was the coach for 4 seasons, and we went to the NFC Championship 3 fucking years, dude.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So Kyle Shanahan and John
then we
Lynch
fired him. And hold on, hear me out here. And not only did we fire him, we fired him publicly on Turkey Day. And then after that, everybody retired. Everybody left. They hit the exits. You don't think
I'm with Ron 100%.
You don't think that's bad juju? Think about the misfortunes after that.
Yeah, well, think about all the good fortunes after that.
We left Candlestick.
Yeah.
Think about the good fortunes we having now.
Which ones? Name one. We lost the Super Bowl.
We've been to 2 NFC championships. We've been to a Super Bowl. Like if there was truly a curse.
Hold on, Mike, save your breath, man. Save your breath, man. Just we're gonna kill him with this word. Relevance.
There you go.
So you're satisfied with being relevant,
bruh? Or you? Would you not rather be relevant?
I want to fuck another ring, bro. I could die tomorrow and we don't win another Super Bowl.
We all want another ring, but do you?
Yeah, we will get another ring.
Do you want to be talked about like the Lions? Do you want to be talked about like the Browns? Come on, man.
You just said you are satisfied with being relevant and talked about. You didn't say whether it's good or bad. You said I just want to be relevant. I'm sorry. That is not good enough for me.
Put it this way: we are relevant now versus the irrelevance that we suffered under Singletary, Tomlinson, whatever, Tom Sula. Who else am I forgetting? Chip Kelly. Come on, Eric Erickson. Come on, man. We could name a whole bunch after Mariucci. We suffered. Come on.
Yeah. And
Mariucci was done dirty too.
Remember that? We fired him with no replacement, bro. We fired him with no replacement in sight. Remember that?
Yeah.
If we were cursed, we'd be a purgatory team like the Jets. Mm-hmm. We would be nowhere near Super Bowls if we were cursed.
It's worse. Look, I've told you guys this before. I'd rather be irrelevant and suck ass. I'll be proud of it. Look, I wear my Niners gear when we're not doing good. because I don't like all these fair weather fans. That's when I rock my shit. When we're doing good, I don't even wear my shit.
You know, hold on. You know why you still rock your Niners gear even when the Niners are not doing good?
Because I'm a real
'Cause we-
fan.
No, it's because the Niners are a relevant team. They are a dynasty. They are a legacy. They can,
I'm like,
whether they are doing bad or not, you will always talk about the Niners being a 5-time championship and seeking others. Now, teams like the Cleveland Browns, the Detroit Lions, the Vikings. I mean, you can't really wear their gears unless you are a true fan, because those are teams that
yeah. If I
lose
see a
on the
Bills
regular.
fan, if I see a Browns fan, I do not question their loyalty at all. If I see a
Exactly.
Bengals fan, I don't question their loyalty
Yeah.
at all.
Our,
If
our
I see a
team
Niners
carries-
fan when we're doing good, I'm asking questions.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because
But
I
our-
never
our-
see you
our
when
team-
we
our-
bad.
Our team carries so much history. We're a dynasty. We're a powerhouse in the NFL. So even when we're bad, it's never an embarrassment to wear our team's gear.
Exactly.
Nope, never. But I truly believe we're not going to get glory until we do right by Jim Harbaugh.
Stop saying that.
Dude,
I
this
mean,
would be a
come on,
crazy
bro. Like,
Super
think
Bowl, the
about
Jets
it.
versus
Think about it,
Cowboys.
bro. They need to invite Jim Harbaugh to the Super Bowl and give him a fucking ring.
Okay. You lost me.
All
Ron, you are talking crazy. You are talking crazy.
Come on, think
You
about
went
it,
from
bro.
like you went from just inviting him to like the stadium or taking him out to dinner to giving him like a
All right,
honorary,
I'll
an
be-
honorary
You haven't
ring.
been here in
Yeah.
7 years, but you
Yeah.
built this.
Hey, bro.
Do
All
you
right, cool.
want to
All right.
also give him? Do you want to
May-
give him a bronze statue in front of Levi Stadium? Is that going to help?
Maybe, yeah, maybe I got carried away on that one. But I mean, come on.
Speaking of bronze statue, am I the only one that realized that statue Oklahoma made of Baker Mayfield look like the damn guy from Terminator?
Arnold
Which one?
Schwarzenegger.
No, he looked just like the liquid guy from Terminator.
T1000.
Oh, I know.
I
What you're
haven't-
talking about.
remember that
Yep.
guy.
I haven't.
T1000 was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I
That's
actually
right,
agree with
yeah.
that. I actually agree with that Jerry comment. If you want to talk about kind of curses, I think leaving Candlestick to be in the middle of Santa Clara is worse than some Harbaugh curse.
Now you're coming around, Mikey. Candlestick move is worse in my opinion. Shouldn't have left San Francisco. And I am a Niners fan from San Francisco, living in SoCal. I'm rocking my gear. All right, Jerry.
Again,
Hey Jerry,
man,
what part?
again.
Jerry, what part of SoCal are you in? I'm in SoCal.
Again, you rocking the gear because we're a dynasty, man. There's no shame in rocking Niners gear, whether we doing bad or not. Because see, the only thing that's gonna happen is when we having a sucky season, these other fans are gonna look at us and they're gonna look to find 49er fans just to make fun at us, just to poke fun, because they don't poke fun. They can't do it that often. So when they get their chance, you got to give them their chance. You feel me? Rock your gear. Show yourself. I'm a Niners fan. Go and talk your trash. I'm going to give you that chance, but you better come correct, because guess what? For the next 5 to 10 years, you'll be wiping tears off your face, because we're going to get back. And once we get back, we get
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry. Put it up. My bad. Go ahead. We keep doing the same shit. Go. I'm sorry, Ryan. That's my fault. So then maybe it's the curse of Jed York.
Okay, cool deal. I know where that is.
Yeah. I mean, if you really think about this whole list, it's all happened under Jed York except Joe and Steve.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, the Yoke ownership was a disaster for a long time.
Yep.
I mean,
So that ties back to Eddie D too. I mean, never would have got the Yorks in there if it wasn't for Eddie D getting his team taken away from him,
isn't
which
the
was
Yorks,
a bunch of crap.
Isn't the Yorks married into the family though?
Denise DeBartolo.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, they still have ownership of it. in so many ways. Because I think that's what the whole deal was. Right? Yeah, yeah. So it is in the family still. It's
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
yeah. So it never really left the family. So I mean, yeah, I guess the organization is by who's being running it now, or the York. So yeah. Oh
Can
man,
you
y'all having a
imagine?
draft party?
Can you imagine the Steve Young, Joe Montana crap if social media existed back then?
I think
Right.
Joe Montana would have threw Steve Young under the bus so a lot quicker. Steve
This
Young
fan
looked
base
more humble.
would have been. This fan base would have been up in arms.
I think we need to get those two in a ring.
Yeah, they still don't like each other.
No, they don't at all.
So
That's what you know. What that's what next Pro Bowl should be by. You know, team Rice. I mean, team Young versus team Montana. Let them draft their players and let them go at it. Like I'm so serious.
let's choose our teams here, because I don't think the right question is who's better. I think the question is, you team Young or you team Montana?
I grew up
I'm
with Young.
I'm Team Montana.
Team
grew up
Young,
with
that's
Young.
my boy.
Yeah, I'm Team Young.
I'm an 80s baby. I saw Montana was the first sports figure that I connected with as a child. That's why I love this team so much. I
And he got
appreciate what
4,
Young
right?
did. Yeah, he got 4. Young only got 1.
And
Young went twice.
and
No,
that's
yeah,
my
no,
saying.
no, he did. He
That's
came
my
close.
story with Young. Young he was the end all be all. The first time I saw him on the field, I was like, that's my favorite player. This is my favorite team, and it's been that way
Nah.
for 25 years.
Nah, see,
Nice.
I'm scared to ask this question because I know it's gonna be real biased. Because I mean, we already decided whose team we on. Look at Jerry screaming out Montana, Mike screaming Montana, and those two
Jerry's
have been
my boy.
agreeing.
Jerry's
Yeah, I
my
see
boy.
that. Y'all two SoCal
Yeah, but Mariah-
motherfuckers. That-
Mariah, there you go.
Mariah's going Team Young though.
That's what's up.
I think what it comes down to is when you grew up. Like if
I
you're
agree with that.
Yeah, like I mean Montana was the 80s. So if you were born after that, you probably didn't really get the opportunity to watch him play and see the greatness that he was.
I watched Montana play as a chief, really.
Yeah.
And I had Tecmo Bowl, so you know he was that quarterback for me with the Chiefs.
See, that's when Montana started getting on my nerves, bro. But
I always ask you guys a question.
go ahead.
I was just thinking to myself too about this question. Were you guys alive when the first catch was caught?
No.
Yes.
And I bet no, nobody.
I was alive. I was alive.
Hey, we're alive. Where were you when you saw it though?
Well, I was a baby, but I was alive.
Believe me, I saw it, and I saw it on my TV, and I couldn't believe when he caught it. That's anything. That's how bad I've been understanding.
Because what that was
You saw the
that was what
first
80,
catch.
80
Yeah,
in 81 it was in 81's when it
No,
was.
it was actually 82. I was
82,
4 years,
okay, so
I was 4 years old.
Okay.
I was 4 years old.
I'm so lost.
was 2.
What do you
I
mean
was,
the
I was
first
2 years
catch?
old. The
catch.
Dwight Clark
Dwight
catch.
Clark.
The Dwight Clark
Oh.
catch.
Ray Clark, 82. I was 4
Part
years
two
old.
was
That's what
catch.
it's called. That's what it's called. The
It's
first
literally
catch.
called. It's
No,
called
it's
the
not
catch.
The catch. The catch.
It's the catch.
Oh,
I meant to say when I said first catch, there's 4 or 5 more together.
It was in
counted.
January of '82.
So I was.
but no.
I
When
was-
you said
I
said
was-
first catch,
Yeah,
I'm
I
thinking
know.
you
I
talking
went the
about
wrong way with
first
that when I said that.
49er catch ever. Like, wait a second. I don't think none of us.
I went the
was
wrong
alive
way
for
when
that.
I said that. Sorry, that was my bad.
Yeah,
I went
the
wrong
the
way.
catch.
The catch. Thank you, Mike.
The catch.
So
The catch.
what Super Bowl do you guys remember? What first Super Bowl do you guys remember
That we won.
that we won? Yeah.
For me, it would have been the third one. 3 and 4 back to back for me.
Yeah. Well, the Bengals won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We killed the Bengals in that one.
I remember the Broncos one for sure.
What was that from 94? I think that was the last one we won.
The
Yeah.
94 was the last one.
Yeah,
The Chargers
that was
one, I
against-
remember.
That was against the Chargers. We were favored by like 14, and we
That's-
covered.
That's actually when I became a Niners fan. Around
Same here.
because
94.
93 I was on Seminoles and shared the same damn colors.
Wait,
That
so
was
you're an
actually-
80s baby.
I was
I'm an
9
80s baby. I'm an
in
80s
'94.
baby.
I was born
I
in
was-
'85.
I'm 83.
I was literally born in 80.
Yeah, I'm 83. I mean, shit, my birthday Thursday coming up, but 39.
Oh,
Ooh.
snap.
Oh,
Cinco de Mayo.
Nice. Happy. early.
Happy
That's nothing we
birthday.
celebrate.
Happy birthday,
Well,
man.
Cinco de Mayo. So y'all don't be surprised if I'm sipping on some Coronas or something. Right
Don't worry
There
about
you
it.
go.
Bro. Don't worry about it.
I was born in the
That,
best year ever, 84. Just throwing that out there.
That Chargers Super Bowl was actually the first bet I ever made on a football
appreciate
game.
it.
Wow,
I
how old
was-
were you? 12?
No, I was in high school.
Oh,
I think I was like a freshman.
You was what,
yeah.
14, 15?
I was 15. Yeah, 14. No, 14 going on 15.
what was the bet?
I
Yeah,
was in class, and some guy was rambling out about the Chargers, how they're gonna blow us out, and he didn't know I was into football. He didn't know I was a Niners fan. I was like, okay, let's put some money on it, $50. He's like, oh, easiest 50 I'll ever make. I'm like, okay. That Monday
Appreciate it,
came
Mariah.
in.
Appreciate it.
He put money on my desk.
Wow.
Appreciate it, Jerry.
How much was it for though? What was it? A dollar?
$50.
$50 back then.
Yeah.
They
bro?
were cheap back
Yeah.
then. They were cheap. They were cheap. Real cheap.
$50 was a lot of money back then, bro.
That shit went
It
a long
was.
way back then, dude.
It
Oh,
was.
it did,
It
it
did.
did.
It did.
That was like a Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. It was. You go fucking buy.
Hey, yo,
a
remember
Nintendo.
when remember you used to have to blow into the cartridge just to make it work?
Remember that?
Yep.
Why
Oh,
was
yeah.
I thinking that? As soon as I said that, I was
Yep.
thinking that. Did that shit really
I
work though?
think that's hey,
That's
it
the
worked for
first
me.
thing.
It always got the game to work for me.
Does
It didn't work
Yep.
before I blew. It worked.
Because it had dust on the fucking chip, huh? That's what.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
You can't just put it back in there. You gotta smack it a little
Yep.
bit. You
Yeah,
gotta,
there's working
And you do the little up and down on the little thing
Yep,
inside
yep,
the Nintendo.
Yeah,
Everyone had their own technique to get that game to work again.
yeah. That was like
I bet y'all don't remember. I bet y'all don't remember the contract code.
Up, down, left, right,
Yeah,
left, right.
yeah.
NBA starts playing.
Wow, they got it wrong. What?
Damn.
Wow.
Hey, I think that's one code. Don't. Hey, if you're an '80s baby and you play
Yeah.
Nintendo,
Dude,
I
that
believe that is
that
the
that
one code
that
you should
code
always
is
remember.
Mhm.
that code is burned into your skull. You know
Yeah,
that one.
up, down, left, right, A, B, select. All right.
So, who else hit the side of their TV to get the channel going?
I had to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you make a little cousin hold up the antenna, or
Yeah, remember that shit?
Hey, hold on, man. Don't forget the pliers to turn the knob now, bro. Like
Yep.
for real.
Mm-hmm.
You need
Yep.
your pliers to turn the knob. And then hold on. Any one of y'all ever been to remote control?
No.
You
Yep.
been to remote, you gotta stand there, change the channel until hey, hold on.
Ben,
Don't leave
okay.
yet.
Oh yeah.
Don't leave yet. Stay right there.
I didn't find my show yet. You keep standing there.
Oh man, Jerry talking about foil. Wow.
Yeah, I used to extend my antenna with foil, bro.
Yep. It always worked.
It worked.
It did.
I used
It
to
did.
try to think I could get the internet with foil.
remember making mixtapes from the radio? You'd sit there and you'd
Oh,
listen for
yeah.
your song to
Uh-huh.
come on and
Oh,
record
yeah.
and play.
Y'all remember the Oregon Trail?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Back in grade
What
school.
about
Yeah.
What about did anyone play Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Yes,
Yeah.
man.
no.
Bro.
Hey, I tried to watch the new Magic School Bus recently, bro, and I just could not sit there and
Nah,
do
it
it.
ain't
I
the
don't know
same,
what
bro.
the hell I saw in the original. Like, dude, honestly, if you sit there as an adult right now and watch them there, every show you used to watch as a kid, I guarantee you're gonna ask yourself, what the hell did you see in that show, and how the hell
Mhm.
did that joke escape you?
Right.
Uh,
The adult.
cartoons were way better back then.
He said Reading
Freaking
Rainbow,
Reading Rainbow.
bro.
Come
Remember
on.
that?
Yo,
shit?
Gary, I remember that show. I remember
Reading
that show.
Rainbow,
When I was a
Yep.
kid.
Yep.
Reading Rainbow. Hell yeah.
Take a look.
It was
It's
Jody
in
from
a
Star
book.
Trek.
Yeah.
Reading Rainbow.
It was Jody
Oh,
from
it
Star
was.
Trek, bro.
That's right, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. Remember Data?
Yeah.
Remember
Oh
Data?
man,
Oh shit.
what's his name? Brent, whatever his name is. I can't remember his real name.
Data said some shit I never even understood. I was like, what? It's crazy.
We're a Star Wars family here in this household.
Yeah.
I am not a Star Wars fan, but I do love the Mandalorian and Boba Fett, though. I will give you that. I would take them all day.
I like Harrison Ford back in those days, though. Harrison Ford.
Dude, there's never been an actor cooler than Harrison Ford.
Hell yeah.
Oh no.
Like Luke is the coolest, or not Luke, Han.
Oh man,
Is like the coolest thing that's ever been on the big screen.
Hold on.
Dude, not even Han. What about Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
You literally took words out of my mouth, Mikey. My wife's favorite,
Or-
Damn, so y'all
franchise.
don't-
What about
y'all not
American
messing with
Graffiti?
Y'all not messing with Sean Connery?
Yeah.
I never got into Star Trek. Never
Y'all
got
not
Star
messing with Sean Connery like that, bro? Like,
Sean Connery was legit, bro. Come on, The Rock.
come on,
Rock.
man.
Welcome to
The
the
Hunt
Rock.
for Red October, man.
Yep.
The Mr. James Bond himself. No cooler actor than what? Are you serious?
I'll stand
Sean
by
Connery
that
was
one.
in the original 007. Who was that?
I know he wasn't the original, but he
He
He was the best.
Hey,
He
what-
was the best.
Well, he wasn't the original one. My mother knows what it is. I forget what his name was.
Yeah, I know you talking about Roger Moore. No, Roger Moore
Roger
came
Moore.
out.
That's who it was. Roger Moore.
Roger Moore was the original, yeah.
Yes, he was the
Yeah.
original one. That's the reason why I know it. My mother. That's the reason why I know it.
Because you
I'm
had
just
one.
gonna
you
say-
had-
but
I'm
Sean
just gonna say it.
Connery
I've
was
never
the
seen a
James Bond.
007. I've never seen a James
you had
Bond movie.
Yeah,
in my
one-
life.
you
Sean
had
Connery
one
did. He did
guy.
a good job though. Sean Connery. Hell yeah.
You had one guy who played 007 one time and never again. I can't even remember his name, but that was only 007.
Speaking
Oh,
of
that was-
007,
Who's
anybody rock GoldenEye? Remember
Oh,
GoldenEye
yeah.
back in the
Oh,
day?
I remember
Yeah.
GoldenEye.
Remember the
That
Golden
game got on
Gun?
my damn nerve.
One hit shot, you were
On
done,
the
bro.
Rock. Yep.
Anybody play Zelda?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, I'm
I
playing
played
Breath
that
of the
one.
Wild right now
Yeah.
again.
Zelda.
Listen, bro, you
I
talking
love
about Zelda
Zelda.
like Final Fantasy. I couldn't stand those games.
No?
Aw, blasphemy.
Yeah, I was not on those games, man.
Zelda, bro.
Zelda: A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo is the greatest game that's ever
Listen,
existed.
while y'all playing Zelda, I'm on the Sega Genesis playing Mortal Kombat and Kirby.
Oh yeah. Yep. Zelda kept me
Kombat.
off Zelda kept me off the streets, bro.
I love Mortal Kombat.
Mhm.
Finish
Yeah.
him. Finish
I
him.
love Mortal Kombat.
Who was your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
Dude, I still rock Sub-Zero. I've rocked Sub-Zero since Mortal
TJ.
Kombat 1.
Yes,
Hands down for me would be what you call it?
Liu Kang,
No,
Scorpion,
no. Lightning
Raiden.
Raiden, bro. I used to get you with
I
that Raiden.
love Raiden.
Yep.
My favorite all time.
Yep. I always used to hit you with the Raiden. What about Street Fighter? Who was your
Scorpion.
favorite Street Fighter?
Ken.
Ryu for me. Ryu.
Ryu. Yeah, Ryu.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, but I used to play those games a lot.
Mhm.
Sega Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
I think I have had every system known to man, bro. Like I've had a virtual.
Me, I haven't
boy.
had an Xbox. I've never had an Xbox.
I've had an Atari, a Sega Saturn, a Sega CD, Genesis. Oh man, Fei Long, man, damn. Okay,
Damn,
that's
dude, yeah. Is that the one
That's-
that looked like Bruce Lee? That was the Bruce Lee character, right?
yeah, Fei Long.
Yeah.
Is that Mortal Kombat? That's not Mortal Kombat, right?
No, that was Street Fighter.
The Street Fighter was it?
That was Street Fighter.
That's not Street
2,
Fighter.
like the new Warriors when
The
they
newer
brought
ones
in, like,
came out, the newer
She-Hulk
ones?
and Cammy and
Yeah, new ones came
Those
out. New
ones.
ones.
Yeah.
What game has martial law in it?
remember that one.
Tekken.
Mhm.
Tekken was
Oh, Tekken.
I
Remember
think Fei Long
Tekken?
isn't Fei Long Tekken.
Yeah, Eddie
it?
Gordo.
Oh,
I,
is
I
Tekken
love
Fei
Tekken.
Long?
Dude. I love
I
Tekken.
think he's from Tekken. I think I'm not sure.
Tekken.
I wasn't much of a Tekken player. I the combo system, too
Somehow
much for this guy.
they took Street Fighter and they put Mortal Kombat put together for Tekken for some reason for me. They put them
Really?
together for Tekken. No, just the way they brought it out. They brought it out.
That's what I'm
Fight.
saying.
Into
That's
fight.
how you seen it. Nah, I used to be a real. Is it Street Fighter?
Street Fighter?
There we go.
Hmm.
I don't know why I can't remember Fei Long as a Street
Me
Fighter.
either. I can't remember Fei Long for some reason.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the Bruce Lee looking guy.
With the hair, with the ponytail.
No, I don't think so. I think like he looked straight up like
I just can't remember what he
Like
looks
Bruce
like.
like Bruce Lee. Let me see
Because
if I
to
can
me
find him.
the only guy that looked like Bruce Lee was Martial Law from Tekken.
Bruce Lee
Jerry-
character.
Jerry
Oh,
said it's
that
Street
guy.
Fighter.
Yeah, here you
Oh,
go.
that guy.
Bruce Lee character.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
That's not Jerry. Jerry. Sorry. My
Jerry
bad.
knows what's up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jerry must be an 80s baby, huh, Jerry?
but who would love that character though?
It's true.
Mando and Bubba. I can't wait for the they got a new one coming out.
The Obi-Wan?
The ladies version. Huh?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
Okay,
new
have
Star
you
Wars
have you
series.
I'm talking about the Mandalorian and stuff like that. Have you seen the Mandalorian?
Mhm.
Okay, you know Sasha Banks is one of the Mandalorians in that.
Yeah.
All right, so their version, the chick, I can't remember.
It's not the
Her name,
Carano, the Gina Carano, is it?
Is that her name? Because she's supposed to have one coming out too. It's supposed to be. a
Yeah,
show
she got
about her.
shit canned though from the whole franchise.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because she said something that pissed people off.
Yeah.
She got
Yeah.
canceled.
You guys knew they made
That
new
was
Mortal
amazing.
Kombat, right?
Oh yeah, I'm all
They
about
made,
it.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
awesome. Wasn't that good?
Oh, I love it.
I
dude.
thought it was good too. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Was
still
that-
jam
was
that
that
one.
Yeah.
Was that the lead chick?
Yeah, Gina Carano. Yeah, the really big one, real muscular.
Yeah.
She used to be an MMA fighter too. Yeah. Yeah, she got shit canned.
Really?
Gina is coming
She's
back.
Coming back.
Is she coming back?
Oh, is she?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't she the same chick who played Amulet Black on the Flash? I thought that's who that was.
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm doing that.
Oh no. So I thought I read that they were gonna have her come back to Mondo.
Maybe.
I don't know, but I like this. I like how they finished up Boba Fett though, bringing Mando back in there. I mean, I like him way better than Boba Fett. Really, that storyline.
We were all there for Grogu. You don't have to.
Yeah.
We all liked Baby Yoda.
Listen though, that storyline, bro. Come on, man. Come on. If you watch the show, I know I'm not spoiling nothing for you, but they even brought back Grogu and Boba Fett too. Now when he had to go and come on, you see that episode? That was hey, listen. Mando's storyline, I think, is like the greatest storyline in Star Wars right now, as far as like TV shows.
You're right. Boba Fett. I haven't finished the new season of Boba Fett because it wasn't as good as the Mandalorian was. And I
But
love
Jerry,
Star Wars,
Boba
but
Fett,
it's just-
Boba Fett got ate up by a big ass desert snake,
Sarlacc.
worm,
Sarlacc
whatever
pit.
you want to call him.
Sarlacc pit.
It started. There you go. What happened? Was it who hit his jetpack? He sent his ass flying to the wall.
Yeah.
I keep trying
One-
to put it in my head that was his dad. That was not the kid. The Boba Fett is just the character. But I just keep putting it in my head that was his dad. But like, that's the same damn character, dude. The same character who died in the movie is the same character you have in the show about.
But they
Yeah,
killed his
Jango-
dad in front of him as a kid. Jeez.
Jango
Yeah.
Fett was his dad.
Yeah.
Damn, we gotta stop talking while my nerd is showing.
Yeah.
You
All
want
right,
to talk
so-
about Game of Thrones?
right? I think we should do another episode now.
Yeah, I'm not even on Game of Thrones, man.
Took
That's
his
one show I have
armor and
not
wore it.
watched.
All right, fellas. So it's 9:00 my time, probably midnight East Coast time. We're gonna go ahead and
Sir.
call it a night. I really do appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate Jerry. I appreciate Mariah. I appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget, hit the like and subscribe. We probably will be on tomorrow for another special edition of that Red and Gold 24/7 draft night with my boy Fly and Ryan. I appreciate everybody's support. Have a good night. Have a good night, fellas. Appreciate y'all for coming on.
Yeah, fellas.
Yeah, good night.
Later.
Good night, fellas.